Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about maps, in particular Vertex maps and Vertex color maps. They are very powerful, but they can be a little confusing. This is going to just be kind of an overview. I've been going through some examples and trying to. I've I've used them. We had them in class, but I've always found a little bit trying to get your head around it. Like, what are this? What are the? We used them in class to basically make a path, cut a path with an object, and I'm going to show you some examples. The first one I actually got the basis of from a presentation that was given at NAB. They were talking about something they did for, I guess it was an F1 race. And the idea was they wanted smoke coming from the bottom when the car went by. So I tried to recreate it. Now, one thing that they did, and it turns out it's not really necessary, for when you're using the fire, it still, or the pyro, it still seemed to work, but it kind of threw me a little bit when I tried to do something with a displacer. Let me show you. So here is a scene. We have a plane here. Plane has pyro on it. So by itself, if we didn't have the Vertex map, it would just, you'd see all, let's see if I can if you just took a plane, an object, and you put pyro on it, you would just get the pyro, covering the whole thing. But if you want it related to some kind of field, so in this case, we have, the first thing we have to do is we put the Vertex map on there. You can do it if you've already converted. You really want to make the plane editable. They don't in their example, and like I said, it threw me because this is not going to work if you're using a displacer. So you have your Vertex map. You can do it one or two ways. You can simply add it, or you can go up to select, and of course it doesn't have it here. But what you would have is set vertex weight. And if you set it to 0, it would be like it's not activated. So if you look at this, red is inactivated, yellow is activated. So that essentially lets you control where different effects are activated, different things are activated. In this case, we have a plane. On it, we added pyro, and now we want to control where the pyro is. So if you look at the Vertex map, let's see if we can get that. There we go. Under fields, you have a sphere, which is going to be our field that is going to control where things are, and freeze. Now, freeze basically, what it lets you do is kind of keep stuff around, so it doesn't just immediately disappear. So you can set it to min, to max, to average, to grow, which is the grow means that it increases as you go. So if you look here, let's button, you can see the smoke coming. So it's allowing the smoke to be activated. And because I gave it a radius here, you can see that it grows. It gets bigger as time goes by. And the higher this radius is, the quicker it grows. You make it fast, it's just going to go boom, all smoke. The sphere, of course, is the field. Just like you might have a spherical field or one of the other fields, you can actually use an object as a field. And this way you have the smoke. Now again, in this case, the plane doesn't have to be editable, but I think as a good practice, you probably should if you're using something with a vertex map. And so this is one way one thing you can do with it. So what's happening is these are being activated, and then then you can see the smoke effect. Another example, I'm going to stop this, is a displacer. Now, in this case, a displacer basically, lets you move polygons around. In this case, we're doing it based on a noise, and this can be any noise that you like. In this case, using Luca, and I think the example I looked at used Luca. But the cool thing is, you can, now this, for starters, I'm going to leave this as is. Now you can see you see the little bumps where the spherical field, again, we placed the displacer under the plane, which makes it affect the plane. And on this vertex map, we had the spherical field, a freeze, and a delay, which makes things smoother. So if you play it, let's see, you see it goes pretty quick. But you can see where the displacement is. And if you go here, you see it's easier to see. And if you, what renderer is this set to? Okay, this is set to Octane. So we go our team dialog, and what we're going to see, you can see the displacement here, and we can change it up. We could decide that, or we can do, more than one thing on here. So let's say we don't like Luca. We want, let's sell, and we can change this however you scale the contrast, make it more contrasty. So, and then again, it'll start to grow. You see what that delay effect did is it may give it that nice little wobble. So, but you can see now the other thing you can do, of course, is, and one thing you may want to do, now here's sometimes you may want to, just to make sure, on the freeze, you may want to clear it. So what we can do is we could, what did I change? What I want to change, effect is the spherical field. And we're going to move this. Let's animate this so we can see. So what we're going to do on this field is first start here. Oh, we don't need Y. It's not going to change Y. And I'm going to move this out of the, close this. And let's go to 30. And 30, we're going to have it here. And now let's go to 60. Okay, let me put an octane camera here so we don't lose our location. Let's see, objects, octane camera. Okay, and we're going to put a rigging tag here so I could get back to it. So it won't move accidentally. So now I'm going to have to turn this off. And I could find my spherical field. Okay. Now for 60, I want it, let's say, up here. And we're going to do that. And then for 90, we're going to go back here. And Control D. We got 60, and now we have to move this to 90. And now we could. Now what we're going to do with this, we got 30, is the other thing I want to do is with this spherical field, with the freeze here, I got a radius. I'm going to bring the radius down to like 10. And let's go here. And let's get this out of the way. And now let's see what happens. So what we have here is it made a little, it's making a little pattern there and kind of wiggly things. So this is the kind of thing you can do with it. I actually rather like this, so I am gonna make a. Let me do a save incremental. Save incremental is very, very helpful. So this is the idea now. This used a noise. You don't have to use a noise. You can just have a straight, moving something up and down or whatever you want to do in terms of displacing these points. Now another thing is color. Now I did 2 examples here, and this is my octane because I don't see redshift. If you use redshift, you know that if you tell it to put it in, you can tell it to put it in the menu, and you'll see it only when redshift's selected. So let's look at this example. In this case, I had a little box. I made a little object, torus, and we got this color. So let's look at the color map here on the cube. So we have the torus, we have the freeze, we have a radius, and as a color map, you have the regular remapping you can do with field. Now, this is something interesting. There are a couple of things you can do. If you're using, now this is Octane, which lets you have these layered materials. But what happens is the way this works is the farthest along is going to be this color, closest to the field is going to be, or the torus in this case is going to be red. So what happens is it basically, when you put a material on it, it kind of takes over. So by making the end part this, whatever color you want the background to be, you get something like this. So it comes, you see the color, and in this case, I don't know the freeze is off. So let's turn the freeze on and see if it, and you're not really seeing the color when you have the freeze. Oh, well, yeah, let's see what we get. We have Octane dialog, and I moved it out of the way. So let's see what this looks like. So you do get your different, I think I need to clear it. Clear. And yeah, this is, you're not really getting, well, let's see what it looks like. Because what I found is it doesn't necessarily keep up. Yeah, it's not working the same with this freeze. So that's, I turned it off. But you get this color range coming in here. And if you do see that. Now, the material is kind of interesting. Let me bring that up. Let's see, where is my materials? Okay, I am going to do this because now then I can see them. Okay. So we got this octane layered material. And if you look, so what we have here is a submaterial, which is the background. You have, then you can do different layers on top of it. In this case, the key thing is this vertex map. So what you end up doing is you pull in the color vertex map you created, vertex color tag, and you stick it in here. And that's going to pick up the colors that we see here. And that's how you get that. Now, you don't really see this background because it's kind of overshadowed by this. Now, what you can do, layer 1 is, thought there was an opacity that would let you control, let's see, this layer. Maybe it's in the Redshift example. There is one of them. There was a way you can change the opacity, and that would. I thought that this. Oh, maybe is it here? Okay. You can change the opacity. So you see here, this is on the diffuse layer. So this is what's kind of feeding into here. And you can see if you, well, we're going to need to, you see how pink, see how this color changes? So you can do that. You can change the opacity of the this material here, which is our material based on the vertex map. Now, Redshift also lets you do this. So let me go back to standard here because, and same process. The material is a little bit different. Where's my, that's odd. See where my materials went. Oh, they're down here. Okay, this got a little messed up like in the old. Sometimes when you change your configurations, it will throw it into the old standard layout. So here's our material. And if you look at the node editor here, it's called a vertex attribute. And this was another example I had seen. And I did pick similar colors for my same, pretty much a default same color as the example there. But this is the vertex attribute, and it's the same type of thing. You give it the vertex color map, and in this case, you can give it a default color. And then you plug it in, and you plug it into the surface. The nice thing about that is, well, it's the same. I think I had to do the same trick here. If you look, see how I made this the same color as this, so I get this pink background. And again, if you look at the Redshift render view, which you can see, you get your colors. And there's a lot of things. Now, the example I looked at, one of the examples I looked at actually used particles. And the particles were the field. So the field, if you think about these things, the field is basically that which decides where the effect, in this case, the effect of the whatever you put on the object that has a vertex map, where that effect is relevant. In this case, it's the color effect, or it could be a displacer, whatever it is. But what the maps let you do is they let you freeze items, and so you can get different patterns staying, staying along or continuing as you do things. Sorry, you can get the effect to stay as it moves on. So when you put the field through, it doesn't just disappear, and that's one thing that the freeze allows for. And I think the freeze is off on this one too. So let's see here. Let's see what this one does. See, and this ends up turning the whole area white. And so so you can see the effect kind of stayed. And you can do other obviously freeze, you can have different things. It also could be, and you have other things like min. So that would uh, see, so you get that sticks to the min. So you get a little different effect here. So it can affect that. You can get different effects by changing how you use the freeze. So this was a little bit of a quicker one. This is just a touching the surface. The whole thing with maps is so powerful because it lets you precisely control where you want different effects to be. It lets you control how, along with the freeze, how long something stays, and you can put different things. We saw when we put the delay uh, in there. Was it this example? No, it was this example here. Right here. We put that delay and that gave it kind of a nice smoothness as it went through. So anyway, I think I'd like to dive into this stuff a little bit more. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that you want to see more of this. Do you want to go back and do more stuff with particles? We can combine them because, again, I saw an example where she did some stuff with particles as you can actually make particles fields. So I have not experimented with that, but you can probably get some cool effects. I mean, look at this cool effect we got by animating this animating this field and having it go. Maybe I'll try to turn it into something. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will speak to you next time. Take care.